Infertility affects around 20% of the population, including both men and women. The carnivore diet for fertility targets factors that inhibit infertility while boosting factors that promote fertility. A carnivore diet improves fertility through three overarching mechanisms: by reducing inflammation, improving hormone function, providing essential and hard-to-get fertility-boosting nutrients. In this video, we'll explore just how the carnivore diet improves fertility. The carnivore diet supports fertility through various mechanisms, including eliminating inflammatory processed foods loaded with sugars and irritating additives, eliminating grains, legumes, and starches that contain inflammatory and cell-damaging plant toxins like lectins, phytohormones, phytoalexins, and other harmful plant defense mechanisms, reducing excess fiber that ferments in the gut, causes excess heat and inflammation in the nearby reproductive organs, reducing inflammatory polyunsaturated fatty acids, PUFAs, found in seed oils, nourishing your cells with monounsaturated and saturated animal fats, dramatically increasing essential and vital nutrient intake from nutrient-dense fertility superfoods like beef, liver, salmon roe, and other organ meats. Before we go any further, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. What is the carnivore diet for fertility? The carnivore diet is an all-meat diet centered on fatty meat, full-fat dairy, and eggs. It eliminates all non-animal foods, including grains, sugars, fruits, vegetables, and processed foods. This makes carnivore a version of the high-fat, low-carb ketogenic diet. At first glance, the carnivore way of eating may appear extreme since it runs contrary to mainstream nutritional advice to eat a variety of plant foods. However, there are hundreds of lines of historical evidence showing that humans evolved on a diet of fatty meat for nearly 2 million years until the dawn of the agricultural revolution around 8,000 years ago. The carnivore diet for fertility is a way of realigning our physiology with the foods we evolved to thrive on. Thousands of modern humans have adopted this ancestral way of eating with dramatic results. Early studies show that the carnivore diet may be remarkably effective in helping people overcome various diseases, reduce inflammation, and ultimately reclaim their metabolic health. Does the carnivore diet work? Recent studies from Harvard and Rivero have reported powerful benefits for thousands of participants. Strikingly, these studies report that a carnivore diet can resolve numerous diseases, reduce medication use, improve gastrointestinal conditions, boost mental health, clear up skin conditions, and promote weight loss. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you. In 2021, Harvard University researchers collected responses from 2,029 carnivore dieters over 6 months. The researchers concluded, contrary to common expectations, adults consuming a carnivore diet experienced few adverse effects and instead reported health benefits and high satisfaction. The significant improvements included 93% improved or resolved obesity and excess weight, 93% improved hypertension, 98% improved conditions related to diabetes, 97% improved gastrointestinal symptoms, 96% improved psychiatric symptoms. When you take a look at Western diets and lifestyles, it wouldn't be surprising that infertility affects approximately 1/8 of the population. And it doesn't discriminate across any demographic or ethnic boundary, including sex. While infertility is often seen as a women's issue, the data tells us differently. Approximately 1/3 of infertility cases are deemed to be caused by just the female partner, 1/3 caused solely by the male partner, and 1/3 caused by a combination of both partners. A carnivore diet will enhance fertility for both men and women. How long does it take? While the carnivore diet for fertility can have near immediate impacts, sperm and eggs both take about 70 to 90 days to develop. To get the full spectrum of benefits from your fertility diet, it's important to stick with it. Let's get started. The philosophy behind carnivore for fertility. It was identified by a renowned fertility expert and founder CNY Clinic that inflammation is the #1 cause of infertility, followed by hormone imbalance and lack of important fertility-boosting nutrients. All of these factors are due to our modern Western diet and lifestyle. Let's explore the role of inflammation in fertility and how the carnivore diet works to reduce it. Reduces inflammation. Inflammation is a natural response to infection or injury. When our body's immune response is functioning properly, inflammation is temporary. It turns on when we need it, and off again once we are healed. Inflammation evolved as an essential process for our survival in the absence of modern medications like antibiotics. But when it doesn't turn off, inflammation simmers at a chronic level, damaging healthy cells instead of healing damaged cells. This cellular damage sends signals that keep the inflammation switch turned on, locking your body in a brutal cycle that can lead to problems that impact fertility like hydrosalpinx, a condition in which fallopian tubes get blocked with a watery fluid. Reduced blood flow to reproductive organs that restricts nutrient delivery to developing eggs, sperm, and uterine lining. This cycle of chronic inflammation is one of the main reasons why treatments like antibiotics, steroids, aspirin, and heparin, along with immune modulators like intralipids and IVIG, are often used in conjunction with fertility treatments. Each is aimed at controlling and reducing inflammatory immune responses. While these drugs have their place in a fertility clinic, a well-formulated carnivore diet can naturally reduce inflammation while helping you reset your immune system in a sustainable way that makes drugs irrelevant. A carnivore diet is the most powerful way for you to take control of your fertility. How the carnivore diet for fertility reduces inflammation. Now that we know what inflammation is and why it's so bad for fertility, let's take a deeper look at the 4 ways that a carnivore diet reduces inflammation. Reduces inflammatory sugar intake. Reduces inflammatory fiber intake. Reduces inflammatory plant toxins. Increases healthy fats that protect against inflammation. Let's go over how each of these processes work. Reduces sugar. Numerous studies point to sugar as a cause of inflammation. But sugar hides in foods that we've been told are healthy. All carbs are sugar. When you follow the recommended diet of 3 meals a day based on high-carb plant foods like grains and fruits, you are consuming chronically high amounts of sugar. If you're consuming a standard American diet, you're consuming 50 to 65% carbs, around 15 to 20% protein, and 10 to 20% fat. Carbs from grains, vegetables, and fruits are aiming a steady stream of glucose through your whole body, setting in motion a series of damaging chemical reactions that raise stress hormones, causes inflammatory reactions, deplete minerals and endogenous antioxidants that would otherwise protect against inflammation. If you liked this video, please kindly do me a favor and subscribe. Thank you. Now, let's get into it. Glycation. One of the main ways glucose damages cells is by a process called glycation. Consuming high amounts of carbs causes sugar molecules to bind with other proteins and cellular structures in a process called glycation. Glycation produces advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Glycation damages connective tissue and creates chronic inflammation. While AGEs cause inflammation by binding to cell receptors called AGE receptors or RAGE. As levels of oxidative stress increase, more glycation occurs, forming more AGEs. Studies show that RAGE binding and high levels of oxidative stress are associated with many diseases that directly contribute to infertility, including PCOS and endometriosis. A carnivore diet cuts off the fuel, sugar, for the production of new AGEs, while allowing your body to expel accumulated AGE. Reduces fiber. A carnivore diet significantly reduces insoluble fiber. When you chew fiber, you expose it to bacteria and yeasts that feed on it during the process of digestion. The ensuing fermentation produces heat, gas, aldehyde, alcohol, and methane. Heat from this exothermic reaction damages local organs and tissues. It was observed that the fiber fermenting in our bowels spreads heat and inflammation to tissue and organs throughout the entire lower abdominal region, including our tubes, ovaries, uterus, prostate, seminal vesicles, and testicles. This is critical because our reproductive organs are designed to function at a very specific body temperature and can be damaged by heat. That's why all fertility doctors advise men against sitting in jacuzzis and hot baths. While you're probably familiar with the idea that sperm require a very precise temperature that's lower than body temperature to remain healthy, The reason men have reproductive organs outside the main body, eggs do too. Optimal temperature for egg development happens to be at body temperature, 37 degrees Celsius or 98.6 Fahrenheit. But when excessive fermentation takes place right beside the ovaries, the temperature can rise substantially above optimal conditions for egg development. For continuation, please check the part 2 of this video, titled Carnivore Diet and Fertility, Part 2. Please note this video was cut short in order to help enable our viewers digest and understand the message, nothing more. Thank you.